We always talk about the quality of your living is based entirely upon your ability. Your entire ability to do what? To success, to how you manage, to how you get organized, to what you want to get done, and to actually what gets done. I know I tell you guys all the time that I'm around a lot of mastermind individuals, solution-based people who know how to solve problems. There's no problems when there's only solutions. And today, as we go through the bumps of all new endeavors and everybody's now coming into a new age of rebranding and development and starting things and also continuing things that they started previously. I have an amazing guest on the show today by the name of Miss Donna Gay-Warrington.
Correct, yes.
Yes, who is an author, mom, educator, visionary, we could say entrepreneur, we could say amazing friend, and a woman who loves to talk a lot. Yes, and as well, spoken about rebranding, a whole new year. She's on a birthday tour right now, y'all, just so you know. So make sure in the comments you give a shout out to that. And without further ado, Miss Donna,
Yes.
welcome to the set.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
How are you?
I'm good.
You look great.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you got to stay in there at the camera. He's like, good, I'm doing good, thank you. Okay. I'm over here. Okay. That's only when you want to go direct to someone, you know. But
Got it.
the day we left.
Yes.
So we are here on set because I do have a copy.
Yes, you do.
I have a copy.
You got a copy.
And shout out to everybody that assisted in the process of making sure that this book got here because, you know, that's what happens sometimes, right?
A lot of support with that book.
Without question. So, for those who don't know, who's Donna?
Who is Donna? Donna is a woman of strength, a woman of faith, and a woman who does not give up no matter what she endures. So I say this because this book came out of a lot of, some things, you know, and it really, it was when I was going through a really tough time that this book was published. So this book is very meaningful. When I see that book, it just reminds me of what more I can do. That book actually started over 13 years ago.
Wow.
I was
13.
a brand new teacher. And on the last day of school, my principal decided to send me to a workshop at Columbia University. Who goes on a workshop on the last day of school? Usually you're cleaning your classroom, right?
Yeah, and everyone's usually they ready to
Exactly.
get their pay stubs and
you're out. Yeah.
head to the airport.
You got it. You're moving furniture. You're not going to a workshop. So here I am, first-time teacher. She sends me to this workshop, the writing workshop.
Got it.
How to write a narrative, a personal narrative. For those of you who don't know what a personal narrative is, it's a story about yourself, right?
Right.
So I get into this circle, and it was an international group of people, teachers from all over the world. And they said, pretend you're a kindergartner and write a personal narrative. We want to make sure that this story has a lot of emotions and feelings and, you know, something that's close to your heart.
Got it.
So we had to pretend that we were kindergartners thinking about a topic. What am I going to write about?
In an elementary state of mind?
In an elementary state of mind. And I just said, you know what? The thing I can think about is the day I left my country, Grenada, Carriacou,
Shout
right?
out to everybody now.
I'm thinking about leaving, the emotions, leaving my grandparents, my culture. So we had to, because in kindergarten, you draw pictures and you kind of write a story, right? So I drew the pictures and I started writing. But I kind of felt the emotion. I felt the day I'm leaving. I see my grandparents. I'm seeing the van coming to pick us up. I'm getting to the airport. It was so deep. So I started writing. You know, and I do have a gift for writing. Although it was one of my toughest classes, I had to take a remedial class.
Okay.
And then I had a professor who really taught me how to write. And at the end of the class, she said, you know, you have a gift for writing. So I put all that into that draft. And then we have to turn and talk like you do in school. You turn and talk to your partner. And I shared the story. And the feedback that I got They were all in awe. They're like, I love this. You need to write a book. And that's how The Day We Left came.
So is that how it started?
That's how it started, but I left it there for years. Never touched it, but it never left me. There was this thing in me that says, you got to write this book. You got to write this book. These people didn't know me. There were people from all cultures, colors, creed, class. And I'm saying they were so impressed with it. And those words just never left me. So I had it written down. And around COVID, like most people, right?
When the world shut down.
When the world shut down, your gift and talents came out, right?
For everyone.
Exactly.
Things you just did not know
You
that was
got
going on. It was.
You got it.
Yes, right.
So around COVID kept popping up, and then I got it started. And then instead of going on vacation that year, I got a life coach by the name of Dion Nichols German, right? She coached me. And I told her about the book. And what I did prior to that is that in order to encourage myself to really write this book, I went on, it's one of those websites where you can actually create like a photo book.
Okay.
So I had the words and I got pictures off the internet and sort of put a book together.
Collage it all
Right.
together, right?
And I said,
in the visual sense to see
you
what
got
it would
it.
look like.
Right.
Okay.
And I said, I wish I brought it with me. I'm like, this is what I want my book to look like. This is the size, this is the orientation and everything. So when she met me, I had that manuscript. And then she coached me to kind of write more. And within a couple of months, the book was halfway done. I had contacted an illustrator on Fiverr.
Oh, shout out to Fiverr.
On Fiverr,
Man,
yeah.
A lot of people don't know about Fiverr.
Fiverr is amazing.
Take advantage.
Amazing. So I did that. And within a year or two, I still didn't finish. COVID also created a lot for teachers. There was a lot of work we had to do. So it was a back and forth.
Was.
But I had an amazing illustrator named Maria who just never gave up on me either.
Okay.
So when school reopened again, I put it at the back burner. But Maria kept saying, you got to do the book. You got to do the book.
Who is the illustrator?
She is the illustrator.
Of the work. So shout out
who's
to Maria.
now a really good friend of mine.
Nice, beautiful.
Right? So I actually hired another coach. And one day she said to me, are you going to finish the book? Again, the book kept coming up. And then within like one night, I finished up the entire thing.
So you just went like
Yeah.
tunnel vision, just went all in.
You got it.
Shut the whole world
Yes.
down and just
You got it.
undivided attention.
And I don't know if it's a teacher thing. Sometimes you know how you stay up late at night and all these thoughts, these like your goals start popping in, like things start making sense like 3:00 in the morning.
Oh,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
story of my life. I'm up at 2:00 every morning, 2:30 the latest.
Exactly.
The latest, I'm like literally walking out the door at 6, but you know, I make the same amount of time for what I love to do
Yeah. Yeah.
that I put into me giving to everybody else.
You
My
got it.
students, the universe. I always put in just about the same amount of hours
Absolutely.
in myself.
Yep. So that night, the thoughts started coming. I finished the book. Now I had to put the illustrations together. And although Maria lived in Pakistan, right?
Oh,
Maria is Indian. So she doesn't really understand what the Black culture looks like, the
Got it.
hair. So now I have to find pictures of me, real pictures of my siblings, pictures of Grenada, of Karakou, right? And now I said, you know what? Let me test her with a picture of my grandmother. And I gave her the picture of my grandmother. And she had to keep correcting the hair. So then I had to go on the internet and find picture of Black braided hair. And then when she got it, I said, you know what? This is what's going to do my book.
it took off.
And it took off after that. It took off after that. And finally, in 2023, I self-published my own book and, you know, launched it in August of 2023.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a major accomplishment. After 13 years, and this is why I tell people, you know, you don't give up, you know. This book came at a very critical time in my life, right? But it also came with such joy and pride because it made me see my strength at the time I felt that I was the most weakest, you know? So yeah, this book is very, very meaningful to me.
We're gonna tap into more of the day we left
Absolutely.
with Miss Donna. We're live on set. We're gonna go to commercial break. We're gonna pay a couple of bills and reset. That's what we do. We pay bills over here, right? And as you guys see, you see where we're going. I know a lot of you guys have ideas and things you want to get started with.
Do it.
Just start.
And I always tell people, start with one thing. Start small. Because when you start big, it gets crazy, right? It gets crazy. Like I always tell my students, usually on the first day of school, I start with the book, The Dot. The Dot is that story.
I love the Dot.
Yeah, where the little girl thought she didn't know how to draw and she had a blank page and she had this amazing
the teacher said,
who
give me a dot.
I love it. You drew a snowstorm.
That's it.
But then she said, just draw a dot, right?
That's it.
And then she got so motivated and kept drawing dots and bigger dots and beautiful dots. And so my thing is, if you have a dream, whether it's a book, no matter what it is, right? Just start with one thing, one word, one idea.
That's it.
One idea.
One idea.
Trust me.
We're live on set. We'll be back with Miss Donna. So you love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Law comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. With us, there's no more struggling between wants and needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, the governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. So, photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production, Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call us and take the next step to share what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you guys in the studio.
So when you do a break, what comes on? You have ads?
Oh, that means that you never watched my show.
I did watch
Then
your
you
show.
saw that when we go to commercial breaks, then what happens in commercial breaks?
I don't remember seeing a commercial break with Lucia.
Well, that's the thing. But we didn't do nothing as far as her, but what I did with mine, I always put my commercial breaks in between.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I watch my girl, I watch some of yours.
It's funny, all my boys be like, oh yeah, I watched the episode with my peoples in it. Yeah, I watched that
Exactly.
one. I ain't got time for the other
No,
ones
but
yet.
I watched another girl that you interviewed with quite interesting topic with different partners.
Oh yeah, shout out to Peggy. That's my girl right there.
I was like, okay.
Yes. Interesting society we live in, don't we?
Yeah, that seems to be
I learned so much.
the norm.
Well, it is. And I always heard about certain things, but I never knew it was like that. And it's a huge.
For women.
Oh, and
Yeah.
huge community. Huge community.
Wow. I was like, okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And in 10. Kind of like to look at me a little bit so
Okay.
I can turn it this way and I can get
Okay.
say something.
So look at you more.
Well, you can. Well, please.
Okay.
Keep your eye on me. Or your camera. Either way.
Okay.
Okay. And in 10, 9, 8. And through the bumpy clouds and all, and talking about the dots and figuring out where to start and when to stop or even how to go about it. We're back live on set with Irv.
Right.
And in the studio, I have the beautiful, illustrious Miss Donna. Yes, and we're talking about the day we left.
The day we
And we left going on commercial break talking about the dot, how to start. Sometimes you have to start with just maybe one word,
You got it.
one line.
Said it.
Sometimes you need to just push a dot and see exactly where it goes.
Start small.
Always start small. You would say start small.
Start small.
Don't start big.
Sometimes it depends.
Depending on what it is.
Depending on what it is.
Of course, I can respect that.
Yeah.
So, what made you is this book self-published? You self-published this book?
It is self-published. I did seek other publishers. Not only did it cost money, but the main reason is because I wanted my story to be told. Sometimes when you get a publisher, they want to change it the way they want to market it, right? I wanted my story to be told because this is about my family. You know, I wrote this book really dedicating it to my grandparents because when my parents came to the United States, they took care of us. I've heard nightmare stories about families leaving their children to family members, right? And not being treated right. But my grandparents treated us with such love and care. My grandmother will always say, you know, I want to give you to your parents just how they left you, you know? So I really wanted the story to be told from an immigrant point of view, right? I wanted people to know that we came from good families, you know? I wanted them to feel the culture, understand the culture.
You was born and raised out here? Born and raised here?
I was not born here. I was born in Grenada.
Born in Grenada?
Yeah.
Okay. For how long did you live out there?
I came here when I was 10 years old.
Okay, so you spent a good decent amount of time out there, a good 120 months, bare minimum?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're very, very familiar with the music, the culture, the food.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You mentioned Miss Maria, the illustrator, being from Pakistan.
Correct.
Why didn't you grab anybody that was from your culture itself to illustrate the book as far as culture-wise? Is there a reason why specific?
I had to get someone who just did the illustration the way I wanted to. I did try different illustrators.
Okay.
But it was about, can they draw it the way I wanted it to show?
Bring the visuals to life.
So I did go through several illustrators, but when she drew my grandmother's face to a T, that's what sold me.
That's basically that's all you needed to know.
And do I love to give credit to people of my color? Absolutely. But
of course.
This was so meaningful that they had to know how to capture those illustrations.
And as far as illustrators is totally different because, you know, they can use the bare minimum and still be able to pull out all the details that you need for this project. Not every project, but this specific project.
Yeah, she got the faces to a T.
Okay.
My grandfather, my mother, and, you know, just everything that I sent her, because a lot of the pictures were pictures that were taken and she had to, you know, draw them. It was some pictures from the internet, like the airport, because the airport sort of upgraded. So I had to find pictures from way back then, just go on the internet. And she was able to capture those, you know? So in the beginning, I gave other illustrators the samples. They didn't look like anything I gave them.
They didn't speak to you.
Correct.
So that's usually how it goes.
So sometimes you do have to go outside of your culture to get what you need.
That's right.
You know?
But that's usually how it goes with a lot of things, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So what do you expect to come out of the day we left? Like, what are you expecting? Like, I guess they would say your return on investment. What do you want to see happen with this?
I think I really want people to understand the journey that we take as immigrants, right? We come into a new culture in America. You know, when you're in another country, I don't think people understand that America is a place that everybody wants to come to.
Yes.
You know, for opportunities, so we see America as the place, you know? It's like a god to a lot of people,
I
right?
understand what you're saying.
When I was growing up, I just thought the food was fancy, the way they talk was fancy. You know, it's a place that you want to be, right? But I want people to understand that we also come from a beautiful place, right? Because I feel sometimes immigrants are misunderstood, right? Not all of us come because we're so poor and we didn't have any food. And like some people lived really good lifestyles. Some people had maids. Some people had great homes. You know what I mean?
I've seen some of my friends who live here and then seen how they was living elsewhere. I've seen the houses in Jamaica. the houses in Georgetown, Guyana.
Yeah.
I've seen like where they, I have a few stamps in my passport.
Exactly.
So I've gotten around and been able to get out of America a lot of times. And you're right. I'm like, wait, you had a maid?
Exactly.
Dude, your bedroom is the size of my apartment.
Exactly.
But they all, they come here and, to make that living, to make it work.
You got it. I mean,
it's interesting how in some areas they downgrade.
Yes, you said it. You said it.
Like they want less to achieve more.
You said it. You said it beautifully.
I don't understand.
Sometimes I don't understand. I was like, why did my parents come here? But, there is an admiration for them bringing us here. Mm-hmm. And what I want, is to get stories from people all over the world, right?
I hear what you're saying.
What I started doing even before the book even became a book, I was interviewing a lot of Uber drivers. I would record them. They knew.
Well, you would ride in Ubers and then interview them?
Because I'm a talker. Anyone who knows me know I make friends like this. I love people. I'm a conversationalist, right? So I would say, hey, I'm writing a book. And I used to put it out there. You know how you manifest things. I'm like, oh, I'm writing a book. It's called The Day We Left. And it's about me leaving my country. And I was like, where are you from? And I'm like, tell me your story. There are times where these drivers would not even want me to get out of their car. I've spoken to people from Burkina Faso, from Mali, from Russia, from all over the world. And the excitement, because they want to tell their story.
That's right.
Especially now I feel like it's such a sensitive time for immigrants, It's like, it's a negative, we're viewed in a negative way for some people.
You said where? So you consider like all immigrants placed in the same
I don't
bucket?
feel so, but I just feel like, when... Before you're so proud to say you're an immigrant, but now it's kind of sensitive because of what's happening on television, for me. And I feel like some people just want to tell their stories. There's so many rich stories about the culture, about things that we did that's different, but yet the same, I want people to know about Grenada. Grenada is not a country that a lot of people knew about.
I've never been to Grenada yet.
A lot of people never been to Grenada. And because I also plan on writing other books about Grenada, especially Carriacou, a lot of people never heard about Carriacou.
Carriacou. And Carriacou is a place in Grenada, but is that...
It's a small island off Grenada.
Oh, so it's off of Grenada.
Correct.
Like how far?
It's 13 square miles. Sorry, the size of the island is 13 square miles. You can get there by boat or by plane. Okay. If you take the boat, it's like 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
But going up, you have to go through treacherous waters. And it's a bumpy ride because there's an active volcano, right? Uh-huh. There's an active volcano, and you will feel it on your way up to Carriacou. So
really,
you're like diving in and out of the water. It could get really, really bad. So I personally, sometimes I rather take the plane. The plane is like 15 minutes, but as you notice on the book cover, it's a very small plane. So it's like maybe 4 to 6 people. You're literally sitting next to the pilot. You can see down in the water. That's how
I felt when I was going to, when we flew to Morocco. We had to fly into Casablanca. We was on a huge jet. And then we got off, and then we got on this small plane that only held like about 10 people.
Exactly.
And that was it.
Exactly.
It was like show to action.
But guess what? I love the plane. The boat, I can't take. It's too long. I don't want to scare anyone from not going to Carriacou, but I prefer taking the plane. It's quick, and it's the same government. It's just a different island off.
Got it. So you prefer, as you said in one of the pages, bumps in the clouds.
It's a bumpy ride.
You prefer the bumps in the clouds versus the bumps in the water?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the bumps in the water is over 2 hours. The bumps in the sky is only like 15 minutes.
Give or take, huh?
You got it. And it's a great view. It's a great view. You get to see the other islands. And, like I said, you could literally look down and see the ocean,
I want to ask one question, but there's another two that's coming to me first. So let me start there.
Okay.
Your family's pretty known back at home.
I mean, sorta.
Ain't no sorta from what I was hearing from someone else. I mean, your family have a strong reputation back at home?
Well, the thing is, Carriacou is so small that everyone knows each other.
Okay.
Right? So my last name is Gay, and that's my maiden name.
Okay.
So my dad was a teacher back home,
Okay.
and he's well known because he was a good teacher.
Oh.
You know, he's a really good
So he
teacher.
made an impact on people's
made an
lives.
impact.
Oh, so you just following
He made it.
the tradition.
That wasn't the plan. That was not the plan at all.
But as we know, God always have his own. You want
Exactly.
to tell God a joke? What do we say? You want to tell God a joke? Tell him your plans.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So your dad was an educator. What about mom?
Mom was a stay-at-home mom back then.
Okay.
Right? But my dad did not continue teaching here. My aunt was also a teacher, and so was my uncle.
Oh, wow.
And my grandfather had they call it a shop, you know. So my grandfather was pretty well known. So you know people based on their last name, right?
Got it, okay.
And then my dad got into government also. So if you do go to Carriacou, you could say people might know me based on my dad or even my last name.
Yes.
So a lot of people are well known in Carriacou based on their last name because it's a small island.
So pretty much people go off of the last names.
Exactly.
I learned that a lot about
Exactly.
a lot of my friends, as you know, and shout out to Lacia Davison. That's a
friend.
great friend of ours, phenomenal educator as well, phenomenal individual across the board. She's from Georgetown, Guyana.
Right.
And one of my close friends, Troy Anthony Alexander Flats, he's from Georgetown, Guyana. You see how I'm able to say his whole entire name?
Right.
Because he mentioned to me as well, no, but I'm Troy Anthony Alexander Flats. When you go out there and you say that,
Right.
it resonates. It's
You
different
got
from
it.
in America when you say, oh, I'm Smith or I'm Johnson. It'd be like, hey, there's 20,000 Johnsons that exist in each area.
Exactly.
So that's usually how it goes when it's out of America. You say that the last name is very, very strong and prominent. It holds weight.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's not that I'm famous back home yet, but
Known enough to make an indent.
you got it.
So I add to that, I also heard, before I get to that third question, is your book in schools at home yet?
Yes.
They are.
So far, just one copy, and
Okay.
I was so proud to see it in the library, and I saw also so some of the kids I heard are kind of borrowing it and bring it back.
Nice.
Which is really, really a big deal for me. And then I got videos of the kids reading my book, which
beautiful.
really brought tears to my eyes.
I can imagine. What? Seriously?
Yeah. And then, just seeing a lot of kids. My sister visited the school last week.
Okay.
And sent me a video of the kids wishing me happy birthday. And they're asking, are you the one who wrote the book? And my sister's like, no, but I'm in the book, but my sister's going to come one day and meet you guys. So I'm like, I can't wait to meet these kids.
I can't wait for you to go out there and see the video of you sitting down and reading it to them. Wow.
My stomping ground.
So is the library in your school, or is it just one of the public libraries?
Well, they don't have public libraries like that.
No?
Right? No. When I say
So
library,
is it in the library in your school?
In the school.
Okay, so it's in your old school.
Right. It's like a bookshelf, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
What's the
not
name
a
of the school?
library. It's called Harveyville Government School.
Harveyville Government School. Shout out to everybody out there.
Yeah, because the village I'm from is called Harveyville.
Okay.
So that's the school I went to.
Who's Harveyville?
Sorry?
Who's Harveyville?
I don't know who's Harveyville, but that's the name of the village.
Okay, well, I guess we'll do some research on that as well.
I might need to do that too.
So, the third question I was getting to, and I have to ask, is this your first book?
That's my first book.
Because the way you mentioned it, it was like, this was like your baby, like this is what you was manifesting and putting it all together. But
you got it.
I'm quite sure this is not the last book.
No.
Okay.
Everyone kept saying, you just can't write the day we left. We're waiting on the sequel, the day we arrived.
I'm about to ask that question.
So again, I'm being pushed. Sometimes people see your gift, right? So I keep hearing it and hearing it. And leading up to my birthday, I like to have some goals accomplished. So I actually wrote some things down that I wanted accomplished. And I was like, the sequel was already written because when I wrote the book, it was so long that when I gave it to the editor, she said, you can either have a chapter book or a second book. So a lot of it was already written. It just
Oh,
needed a
wow.
little enhancing. So about 3 weeks ago, I got up one of those late nights again.
The
And
1:30, 2 o'clock, 3
You
o'clock in
got
the morning.
it. Yeah. And just sort of fine-tuned it and put everything together. And I contacted the editor and I said, guess what? I finished the sequel. Because
Nice.
all I had to do was like draw a conclusion and kind of just put in more details,
Okay.
right? So the sequel is finished.
So is it, I have to ask now, because I see we have, the cover alone says, the day we left with also a plane taking off.
Correct.
So now I'm asking, is the day we arrive the plane landing, coming down from the clouds?
You know, that's interesting. That's a good idea.
I mean,
That's
I don't know.
a good
I mean,
idea.
I'm just,
I actually,
from a visual sense.
I won't say what cover I planned, but you just gave me an idea.
I mean, well, as you can
just
see,
gave
you see,
It
small
makes
ideas.
sense.
Yeah, I mean,
It makes a lot of sense.
you know, with maybe like the buildings in the background,
I
you know,
agree.
New York City, from island
That's
to
a really good idea. That's not what I was thinking, but it makes sense.
a thought. It's a thought.
It's a great
It's
thought.
a thought. All right.
Great
Well, as you can
thought.
see, we keep on
Great
coming
thought.
up with thoughts.
That's it.
You know, figuring it out. And what could if you had it your way with this book?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know me and you had conversations on the sideline, but since we're actually here on record,
Correct.
you know, and then you know, I get all the time, so don't feel away about me saying it. People say, "Oh my God, you're so hard, you're so tough, you're so."
I said that about you before I met you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
But it's so much easier to talk to in person, ladies and gentlemen. It really is.
Is there going to be an audiobook coming to this? What about Braille? What about the different avenues of communication? Are you focusing on those before you get to the day we arrived?
That would be a long-term goal. It's not that I'm abandoning that, right? The audio, absolutely. That sounds like something I would love to do. But that's a long-term goal. But again, I feel like you're challenging me with that.
I am challenging you.
He's challenging me with that,
I
ladies
am
and
too,
gentlemen.
and the only reason
You know,
why, because
so-
being around educators, y'all challenge me all the time somehow, some way. So I mean, and I'm really, I love to read, though I'm a person who love to read.
Yeah.
But I do also know that there's a community out there
I know.
of people, of not just kids, adults.
Yeah, you're right.
Who just don't like to read.
You are
I
right.
have friends of mine who say,
You are
"Oh,
right.
you know what? If I see a picture, I'll double tap it. But if
are
it's
right.
anything more than 3 sentences,
You are correct.
swipe and keep it moving."
Absolutely.
So sometimes it's better for people to be able to just social media, swipe up, the words just jump out at them,
got it.
and then they could retain the information.
So just like the people pushed me to write that book, I feel like you're kind of pushing me because maybe you see something in me I don't see.
Well, there's no
But,
maybe nothing. I see so many great things with you, and just knowing the caliber of woman you are,
Yeah.
I believe that you should exhaust all possibilities.
Well,
Don't leave room for them to
I
ask
got
for
you.
anything.
I got you. I'm gonna look into audio.
She's gonna
That will
look
be
in-
my
you-
first.
You're gonna.
my first,
We're gonna get that done. We're gonna get
We
that
will
done.
get it
We're
done,
gonna
and
get
we're
that
gonna do
done.
the interview.
We're gonna get that done.
Absolutely.
We're gonna go to
I
commercial
like to be
break. We
challenged.
have Miss Donna Gay in the studio the day we left, and
day
we're gonna
we
tap into those areas of the day we arrived somehow, some way.
Okay.
We're live on set. Don't go nowhere. Be back. You love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Entertainment comes in. Guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll send you over the smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track, if you know what I mean. With us, no more struggling between the wants and the needs. Get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, Governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Someone has experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer, yeah? Call us and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio. Yeah.
No. Yeah, just leave it there. Not talking about differentiation and all that.
Oh, no. We are not going into a rubric. We are not doing that. No, give me some of that. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Are you ready?
Yes.
And in 10, 9, 8. Are you counting in your head as well?
No.
You didn't count when I do
I'm
that?
just waiting.
When I do 10, 9, 8, it'd be like this. 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay. And we're back live on set.
Okay.
Miss Donna.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what my students call me.
Miss Donna? They don't call you Miss Gay?
No. I won't speak on that.
Okay, well, Miss Donna it is.
Okay.
Well, we're back live on set. We left off with talking about the day we left to the day we arrived. We touched a couple other areas. We also mentioned that this is not your first and only book that will be out to the world.
Correct.
I did challenge you a little bit as far as the other areas that we will be tackling. So look forward to Braille and the audio book and all the other things that's going to come down the pipeline.
You got it. You said
You have too much manpower to not get it done.
I agree.
It defeats the purpose.
I agree.
Like, how do you have all this manpower and
It's possible.
anything's possible, like you said.
possible.
Small things.
Yeah.
You know, we can go in that room right now and just talk.
How can a special educator not do it in another version, right? To accommodate her students.
Hey.
We're not going to get into the teaching talk.
Nah.
But we got to slip it in there.
But we know that we
know.
have areas to
You got it. You got it.
assist everyone in different areas of growth and development.
You got it.
All right. Well, what advice would you give authors who want to come out with a book or who's considering it or thinking about it and don't know how to pivot to making it happen? What advice could you give them?
Start writing. Soon as those thoughts come up, it's not going to make sense in the beginning, right? It could just be like one word. It could be like keywords, you know? Start writing, start drawing pictures, start writing down your ideas. It's just like when you're in kindergarten. What do we tell the kids to do, right? Think of a topic, start drawing the pictures, write.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Sometimes you just have to just, or stick figure.
Yeah.
Draw a stick figure
Think,
and
draw, write. Stick figures, you got
that's
it.
it. Start
That's it.
small, like you said.
And I always say, and it made so much sense, right? When you tell the kids, draft. Start drafting your pictures. You
That's
can
it.
always go back and add on later.
That's what I do with my
Right?
students. I tell them all the time.
Absolutely.
Draw the pictures,
Yeah.
and then if you don't have the words, forget about the words. I'm only saying draw the pictures. So when I ask you, what was this picture about? You're gonna start running your mouth.
Of course.
I'll push the button, and then now
course.
we have technology now where the kids could push the button, speak, and their whole story will come out while they're talking.
Right.
They'll be like, wait a minute, I have 5 chapters, and all you did was draw 4 pictures. Because they're gonna speak and elaborate on what's happening,
Got it.
even if they don't have the words.
Got
They
it.
can see the words right there. Now, you see all those words? Write them down.
That's it. That's it.
That'll give you a good 20 minutes.
You got it. So start with the pictures. Start with the idea in your head and just write. Have a notebook. I wrote so many different versions of this book because I lost the original. And then I had to start over because the story was always in my head, right? And so I said, think, draw, write. It was always in my head. But when my sister moved to Atlanta
Okay.
and I found the original book,
Oh,
which
wow.
was so much better than this one. It
Wait,
was already written.
It was written, but it wasn't published.
It wasn't published, but
It wasn't like in book format.
No.
It was just the notes and.
But it was in the process, so it was too late to go back. It was already professionally edited,
Oh, wow. Okay.
right? But when I found the original, I wish that I didn't change not one word because it was that good. So I had different versions. So you may lose your first version, but like I said, get like a small notebook, right? And start drawing your pictures and writing little things. If you have to get up and use the bathroom, listen, some of these thoughts might come. Find that book and write an idea, right? Find a book and write an idea. I actually have about 3 more books that's already written.
Oh, wow.
I do. because I want to write stories about growing up in the Caribbean.
So the day we left, we have the day we arrived.
The day we arrived.
The day we took a tour. The day we started looking at, is it going to be like continuations of like the day? Is it like that? Like the day we left, the day we arrived?
No, childhood memories.
Okay.
You know, like things that we did with our grandparents. You know, if you really go through the book, it describes the environment that we lived in. It was like a farm. My grandfather.
You see what page I'm on right now? You see?
I
was going to ask you about this. Okay.
My grandfather had chickens and cows and sheep and goat and big garden with a variety of fruits and mangoes and plums and just he was a die-hard farmer, right? So I want to write stories about that because I remember getting up and we called him Papa, and Papa would be off to the garden. And when he come home, he had all these exotic fruits and just bringing these fruits for us, you know. I want to write stories about that. I want to write stories about just being a kid in the Caribbean and how we played differently from when we came here, right? You made up games. You made up a lot of games.
Any and everything, huh?
Right. We played outdoors. We only went in the house to bathe, to eat and to sleep.
That's right.
And when I talk to a lot of other immigrants from different countries, it's very, very similar.
That's right. That's how I grew up.
You know?
Every Sunday morning I was up, newspaper, Windex. I had to wipe down, clean all the glasses. If there was glass, it had to be Windex and newspaper every single time.
The good old days.
Oh, man. You see how we tell our age, huh?
Yeah. I know.
I have to ask this question because this picture right here says so much to me right here. I mean, I'm looking at, who's this in this picture off the top?
That's my grandmother, Ta.
That's your grandmother, Ta. That's Grandma Ta.
Grandma Ta.
What is this on the table that it looks like I could smell was resonating from this page?
Credit to Maria, the illustrator.
Shout out to Maria.
That is called bakes.
Bakes. So that bake is...
It's like a roll.
It's like a roll.
Some people call
flour.
it... Yes.
Water.
You got it.
Baking powder, baking soda.
Oh, okay. Sometimes yeast. People make it differently.
Well, yeah, dry active yeast, you know.
It could be fried or baked. Yeah. So we didn't have the traditional breakfast like bacon and eggs. That's going to be talked about in the day we arrived, right?
Such a huge kitchen.
Yeah.
This kitchen looks so
I mean, it was unlike a lot of...
immaculate.
That was sort of the modern... They had sort of like the modern home.
Yes.
You know? But... they had the gas cylinder. So they would have to buy a cylinder of gas each time they ran out.
Got it.
But breakfast was cooked from scratch every morning.
Every morning. Nothing processed.
No.
Everything.
She would make...
As you can see, fresh
from
the ground, from the yard.
That they grew, yeah.
Yes, okay.
So we had bush tea.
I was about to ask that. What's coming?
That's the bush tea.
That's the bush tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
So leaves from herbs, or it could be even lime tea. Lime leaves, you know. They would just brew it and, you know, you drink it with hot water and sugar. The bakes. We got the eggs from the chickens that my grandfather raised. You know, we didn't have like sausage or bacon. Nothing like that.
No sausage and bacon? Didn't. So you have not one pig on the... Not one pig
not
on?
Back then, no. They grew their own pig, but they didn't really make sausage. Caraco's a little... They haven't really developed. Now they're developing more, you know? But then it was more like... Everything was just natural. I kind of wish it stayed that way, you know?
As far as in like how it used to be back in the days? And so you... that's a good question. So you prefer the old school way of living versus now?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say because I don't live there, but it was much better. I think even here in America, people kind of like how things were back then. You see how social media came in and the television and internet and all. It took away a lot from the family, you know?
It definitely did draw a split in between households. I could see that.
Absolutely.
Where a lot of kids... You know, they used to go outside and stay outside until the lights come on. Then we would be right in, shower, eat, relax, go to bed, like you said. Okay.
Yep. So even back home now, when you go home, you see kids with the iPad. They come to my house and say, "What's your Wi-Fi?" You know, it's
that's the first question that I get. Any guests that come in here, like right now, if you come with guests, can I get the Wi-Fi so I can?
I mean, I'm guilty too, but I mean, who doesn't like it? The the way it was back then, right?
Well, I would say, depending on how you lived, I believe some people work better with technology as a crutch or as an assistant, versus those who. I have a couple of friends. They learn how to live as an adult thanks to technology. They can now go online, and if I met you and I wanted to cook something from your hometown and I want to be impressive or whatever, I could find thousands of ways of communicating.
Absolutely.
Or, so it has its pros and cons
There's a
depending
lot
on
of
how
benefits.
you use it.
There's a lot of benefits, but just practicing balance. And what I notice now, even people here, they're trying to go back the way things were,
I think it's possible.
I don't know if it's possible now. I think we're too far gone.
I believe so.
I think we're too far gone.
I believe when you say too far gone to you, what does that mean?
I just mean the dependency on technology and just getting things done fast.
Yes.
But I think people appreciate, like when people go on vacation, they're not looking for all that. I find people now are going to places that are more low key. They do have vacation spots where they don't really have phones and all that interruption.
Mm-hmm.
People just want to be in a quiet place where it doesn't look like the familiar.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So I reminisce a lot about the way we lived. And unfortunately, my grandparents are not alive, so it makes it even different. When we go home, it's just not the same.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
And these were my paternal grandparents. This was my father's parents.
Okay.
I do want to write a book about my mother's mother because she's actually from Venezuela.
Really?
She's from Venezuela.
Oh, so that's why I hear a little bit of that Espanol that be sneaking.
Really?
You sneaked it in a few times, and I'm like,
I did.
When I went to go get the book, you was like, por favor, muchas gracias, which made me respond with de nada. Yeah, I mean,
You know what?
I heard a little bit.
A lot of my friends and family are going to laugh at this part.
Really?
Because I swear.
That you don't do it?
No, I do. With my, and I love Latin music. Like, even when I went out last night, they're like, we're not listening to Latin music. Like, I play it at my house all the time. But it's my Latin grandmother. Her name was Sila Dominga.
Sila Dominga.
Yeah, Sila Dominga
Señorita.
Hector. Sila, Sila.
Really?
Yeah, Dominga Hector.
Nice.
And she would teach us little words in Spanish,
Yeah,
she wanted us to
Espanol?
know the culture, yeah.
Okay. So you're mixed.
I guess I can say I'm
You
mixed.
guess? I mean, Venezuela.
Yeah.
You're mixed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And my mom was born in Aruba.
So how many languages do you speak?
One, English.
Well, okay, you could have fooled me. I mean,
No, I kind of throw my little things.
but that's
in
how I
there.
am as well. Like you say, when in Rome, like when I'm in the Bronx, hola, ¿cómo está? Bien y tú?
That's exactly how
Por
I speak
favor.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly.
A little
But,
bit here and there. I know enough of different languages to be able to survive. Like if I knew I was going to, I've been to Puerto Rico, DR, I've been to Mexico, Mexico, I've been to North Africa, South Africa. So when when you're going to different places, you have to give a little bit. In Morocco, it blew my mind because I was speaking French, Arabic, English, a little bit of Spanish. I even know they had a whole Spanish community north of Morocco.
Oh, nice.
Speak nothing but Spanish.
Oh, wow.
And it blew my mind.
Wow.
And then I was in class a week ago, and one of my classmates just came back because we're doing presentations. So we're all showing different places that we've been. So I've showed my word. It was like, wow, where haven't you been?
I know.
And I'm like, there's been plenty of places I haven't been.
Right.
But I was speaking so many languages where it's, hola, I was saying hola, then it was kif khalik, hamdulillah, hamdulillah. And then it was bonjour, ma chérie.
Yeah.
I was saying, yo, what's up, New York? All right, what up? Different things like that. But somehow, somewhere I'm always throwing I know a little bit of enough.
And that's where the benefits of technology comes in, right?
Yes.
You go to another country, you just pop up an app and you can speak
and I can translate.
Right.
And
you
that makes it
Google.
easy, like you said, because you love to speak I love to speak. So it's great when I see people. I'm big into fashion. So like I would see an outfit, and there's no way in the world that I'm not gonna say, "Wow, you look beautiful,"
Right.
or "Nice shoes." How do you say nice shoes in Arabic? How do you say?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, what is the next step for Miss Donna in this new birthday tour? Because like you're on a birthday tour right now.
I am doing a birthday tour.
Because you've been doing a lot. And I'm supposed to have her in the studio a few times, y'all. But you know what? Gotta be patient with your peoples. And when someone's on a birthday tour, you gotta just...
Taurus season.
You gotta just... Shout out to all the Tauruses. Y'all know how this go. When they're on a birthday tour, you gotta let people just get in where they fit in.
That's it.
So thank you for being here. I mean, I really, really appreciate this.
On Mother's Day, right?
Hey, and happy Mother's Day to you as well. And also, all the women that assisted in your growth and your development.
A lot.
You're a mom.
Yes. Of one.
Of one.
Yes.
A
daughter.
I know that because I seen you was doing a little regulating.
That's it.
Before, huh? Yeah. So how was motherhood?
It's great. It has its challenges. You know, she's a preteen. She's turning 12.
Oh, don't talk to me about preteens because I have a 14-year-old right now.
She's not, a little lip service here and there, But
that means she talks a lot?
Well, I'll say that. But, my mom keeps saying, oh, she's just like you. And I do see a lot of me.
I heard a little bit of it. You were trying to regulate one way, and it was more like I got this. Let me just.
I know.
Do
okay.
this.
All
and,
right.
and respectfully, I give it to you because you was like, you know what, like, all right, let me just. So you got to know when to give and take dealing with these preteens and teenagers.
Yeah.
Because there's no manual.
That's it.
There's no manual. It's the
it.
same thing like in the school system. You could do all the schooling in the world, but then once you get in the school building and you get in front of those kids,
totally different.
Completely out the door.
You better be creative.
I seen a couple of pictures in here. Y'all own the Volkswagen?
No, that was like the van that comes to pick you up from the airport.
Okay, so this is traveling.
At the house to the airport.
So who are all these folks in the picture?
This is my grandparents' house. That's my grandfather, Papa, that's Ta, and that's us coming down the steps, going to the van.
So that's Papa.
Yeah.
That's Mama
Ta.
Papa, Mama Ta?
Yeah,
Ta?
we call her Ta.
Ta?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that her name? Like Ta for?
Well, what happened, apparently they used to call her sister for some reason.
Sister?
Sister.
Okay.
And they said my sister Judy, when she was little, she didn't know how to say sister, so she called her Ta.
Okay, so that would be...
My grandmother, right.
Is that the one in the middle?
Yeah, right. That's Judy.
And that's the younger...
My brother Sean.
The younger brother Sean?
Correct.
Okay, so it was only 3 of y'all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, with my parents. So all the grandkids called our grandmother Ta. She didn't want any other name but Ta. The villagers knew her as Ta.
Got it.
So that's her name. No one called her grandma.
Ta.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and we have you and your 2 siblings. So Audia was born in... Grenada.
Yes,
Caribbean. Okay, then Audia came...
to the United States on the same day.
Who's the oldest?
My sister, Judy.
So Judy's the oldest.
I'm the middle.
You're the middle. You're the middle child.
We're not going to talk about that on this.
The middle children. Well, I'm the youngest on both sides of my family.
Okay.
From mom and dad. I'm the youngest. And I'm usually like, they call me the shot caller. I'm the loud, rambunctious. I'm the one that they think it, I do it.
Oh.
I would never jump out of an airplane. I love this thing. I'm one of those.
Got it.
So, who's the shot caller out of the siblings? Who runs the show? Is it the oldest? Because I know it's not you.
I don't know.
It's either the older sister or the youngest brother.
I don't know. That's a tricky topic on video.
Okay. All right. Okay.
They might say me that I try to, because you know how y'all judge the middle child, right?
Who's y'all?
A lot of siblings judge me.
Is it society or?
Society too.
Okay. Well, yes.
Middle child syndrome. Sometimes we feel like the black sheep, but you guys think we come to take over. Oh. And you think you guys...
I would say that the youngest feel like the black sheep.
No,
because they're so like they're so removed.
They're looked at as the dramatic one. I could identify with a lot of middle children. We feel forgotten. you know?
Okay.
But then the others think that we get all the attention, or I don't know. So it's kind of tough being the middle child sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? As you know what I'm going to say. What am I going to say right now? Where are we going?
I don't know.
We're going to go to commercial break.
Oh,
we're going to pay some
break.
bills. You know how this
Commercial
go.
break. Got to pay that bill.
We're
All
live
right.
on set. Irv, Miss Donna. And we will be back.
Okay.
The day we left, make sure you pick it up. And we're going to get into this as well. A little bit more about this. We're live on set. You love creating. You love music. And you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Law Entertainment comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. What more could you ask for? With Some Law, there's no more struggling between the wants and the needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters, what you love to do. They're governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call them and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio.
My goal is to really go out there and interview people from all over the world.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
The day that they left from wherever they left from.
Yes.
Yeah, that should have been a part of the promotion.
I know. It was originally.
But it's not too late because, there's so many other areas that need to be pushed anyway. So this is all a part of what's happening now.
I really feel that this book can go far. As you know, sometimes teachers, we give a lot. And I just felt like when it's not summer, I abandoned all of my own personal goals and put it into the classroom. And I'm learning balance with that. So that's what I've been doing with this book. Summer comes, I do a little bit here, I stop. By the time September comes, and I put it at the back burner, and then I'm starting up again. So I actually want to focus more on my goals as well without abandoning my responsibility as a teacher.
Got it.
But I really want to go out there and randomly pull people to tell the story about the day they left. And it doesn't have to be from another country. You know, people move from state to state.
I'm trying to tell you, and even those are some culture shocks.
Exactly.
You know, from living, my friends that came from Los Angeles to New York.
Exactly.
From New York to Los Angeles, there's
Exactly.
certain things you just have, it's a culture shock.
Exactly. And there's such great stories. Some people may not be able to share because some people went through traumatic things, how they got here.
Yes.
Right? But I just want to hear those stories because the pride that you see, it's like you're asking about my country. Wow. People want to tell those stories. They're excited. I remember I met this man in an Uber and I'm like, where are you from? He was from DR. And he was saying that he did not get to go back to his country till like 20 years after because he had to get his green card and he came to visit, he said, and his aunt told him to stay. And he didn't have his green card. He was a teenager.
Got it.
Then all of a sudden he got kicked out because they didn't want him there anymore. And then he had a baby and she tried to get him the green card, messed him up. But finally he was able to meet someone, marry her, and got the green card. And he said the day he arrived, he kissed the ground.
Did you do that?
No.
No, you didn't kiss the ground?
No.
No, that's not
Because we went back every summer.
Oh, so that was going to be one of my questions. I was going to ask you
went
too.
back every
When's the
summer.
last time you've been home?
I was home the December before COVID. So that was...
That's like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 60 months ago. It's not that bad. When you plan on going back? When you go back on your tour?
I'm actually
to be
going
reading?
back in August.
Oh, so you're going back for the summer?
I'm going back in
Oh,
the
you're going
summer.
back home. Okay.
Yes,
What are you
I
going to be
am.
doing out there? You're going to be doing anything Pertaining to the book, are you gonna be doing any promotion?
Well, we're really going back for my cousin's birthday.
Oh, you speaking French? Oh, we. Who's we?
Oh, my family, my cousins and I.
Okay.
But I do plan on, bringing some books down and hopefully doing some interviews and getting my book out there a little more. I don't know if a lot of people know Caracol went through a really devastating hurricane last summer.
Oh, really? No.
So
I
the
didn't know.
schools are not up to par. Although my sister went there, she said it, I don't know if the roof is missing, but it took them a while to get things down. 97% of the island was destroyed.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear
So
that.
they're just rebuilding. A lot of people lost their homes and they're just rebuilding. So
I look forward to doing something like that. I want to be able to go,
Yeah.
to go with all of my friends to where their home is, and community work. I would love to, be a fly on the wall to watching you reading to your.
I already
students.
see the emotions. I already see
I could
the
see your face.
emotions. But the thing is, when I go there, I think school will not be open.
Because it's summertime. Is summertime the same
Exactly.
like the school time? Is it the same like
It's the
summertime?
same. I think they go back later on
Okay.
and they get out earlier. I can't remember. But I don't think they'll have school. But if I can gather some kids and just read the book and go around and, just be that local author. I don't know if there's any author from Caracol. I'm sure there is. There's a lot of talented
I was
people.
gonna ask you. I must say, what books did you grow up on reading out there?
All
Were
I
they
remember
books?
was Dick and Jane, I think. You remember those classic books?
No.
Bear Nancy, that's about the spider, Is it Anansi? Bear Nancy? Those kind of books.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't remember classic books from here. I remember possibly reading Billy Goat Gruffs or the fairy tales.
Okay.
Three
okay.
Little Pigs, Goldilocks, that kind of thing. Hansel and Gretel, I remember.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Got it.
My mom used to send books. I think one was called Chicken Little.
Okay.
Yeah, so I remember
Okay.
those kind of books. But I don't know if they have authors from Caracol, maybe from the mainland Grenada, But I know they're great artists there. They draw really, really great work. So I'm hoping maybe I can meet someone who can possibly do the illustrations. I don't know. That's something I would love to embark on. Do they have a local artist who can draw the
I'm
illustration?
quite sure. I'm quite
You know?
sure. After you, while you're pushing this project and implementing all these new
Yeah.
pieces into the puzzle, I'm quite sure that's going to fall into place somehow, some way. Is there anything that we should what should we look forward to for the year 2025 coming from you?
2025.
Yes, just this day alone. By the time 2026 come around, what should be already out and accomplished? Should a second book be out by then, or are we
Definitely second book should be out hopefully by next summer. Right?
Okay.
Even before then, maybe 2 or 3 other books.
Okay.
Definitely marketing myself more, becoming a brand. I am starting some retail stuff with The Day We Left. I already have the keychains. I'm starting to have t-shirts, really nice ones.
Okay, so let me know when I can get my merch, because I
Yeah.
need to have
Bags.
the merch and certain things as well. I got a few
Yeah.
books.
Bags. It actually started around the launch. When I had the launch, I had t-shirts and maybe 2 and 4 bags, and people wanted more.
Nice.
People wanted more. So I definitely want to do that. More stylish that people would wear, I want to be out there having interviews on big platforms.
So I was gonna ask. I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Should we be expecting more interviews coming out?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Catch you everywhere. So I
Yeah.
think I got good now. I got you early.
You got me early.
I got you early in the game.
Yeah. And I'm actually collaborating with an author. Her name is Ruth Flory. So she's going to help market me and get me out there. She's doing great things. So I reached
beautiful.
out to her on Instagram.
Okay.
And she got back to me. So we are starting our collaboration soon.
Beautiful.
I also want to venture on my advocacy for families, especially children with special needs.
Yes.
I really want to inform families about their rights, when coming to their IEPs.
Okay.
So that's something that I'm really branching out on. I'm actually working with a business coach to help me market it more and really get some of my skills as a teacher where I can make money. I'm really good at teaching kids how to read.
Oh,
Because
beautiful.
remember, most of my teaching started from kindergarten. So they come in as a clean slate. They
Yes.
don't really know how to read. They don't know how to write. Sometimes they don't even know how to write a letter. So when they first come in, we're doing assessments, letters and sounds. I had kids describing certain letters as a stick or, symbols.
Yes.
And to see them at the end, it's amazing to see the growth. So I did start a small LLC. It's called Harvesting Gems.
Yes, right.
And I came up with that name around COVID, because I felt like they came in as seeds and I had to water them and nurture them and love them and, prune them. And at
Give
the
them
end,
give them that light.
that's it.
Got to give them more
Yeah.
the soil, the moisture to get them
got it.
actually to
You
grow.
got
And,
it. And at the end, I harvested precious gems.
Yes, you
I
did.
always call my students my gems, So I feel like I have a niche for teaching students a fun way of learning. I always tell parents it doesn't have to be the traditional way where you sit down and you got to learn your ABC. I'm like, no, you could do that while you're having dinner. You could do it in the bathtub. I taught my daughters letters and sounds by buying tiles, little foam tiles that you can put on the tiles while she's taking a bath.
Yes.
One letter at a time. Again, starting small.
That's what Lucia Davidson was mentioning when she was saying as far as homework. A couple of my people reached back out to me. It was like, what you mean she don't want to give homework?
I don't either.
I'm like, but my point is though, it wasn't that she wasn't giving homework. It was about the work at home that actually matters. A lot of these kids don't know their parents' name. They don't even know how to even offer their services, even if they do have good ideas. Hey, mom, can I help? Mom, can I do this? They're always just so dependable on things. So the questions that she was asking, go home and focus on home. Do the work at home. A lot of kids don't know how to do the work at home.
You can learn how to count during dinner time.
Yes, you can.
Let's count the plates, right?
That's right.
So I want to teach parents, how do I teach my child to learn where I don't have to restrict them, right? I don't have to restrict them. I can count going up the steps,
Counting the steps.
Counting the steps. Yeah, make life easy, because I tell parents all the time, you see kids doing certain things and I'm like, they don't do that in the classroom. So if they know how to control that in the classroom, then they can control that at home.
That's right.
So teaching parents to carry over what we're teaching them in the classroom. How do I spell this word? How do I do this? So my new thing is phonological awareness. I really want to teach kids how to do that. So that's a workshop that I'm planning on doing in the summer.
Okay.
Really teaching kids how to read, starting with phonological awareness. Just hearing the sounds.
Just the sounds alone.
Right. We do this program called Haggerty. It works. It works. I'm working in pre-K for the first time this year.
Oh,
and
so
I'm
you with
doing,
the babies.
Yeah, first time.
The
and
little
I'm doing,
babies.
But I'm
start with everything.
But as a kindergarten teacher, I had kids coming into pre-K, into kindergarten, not knowing letters and sounds.
Yeah, still on a pre-K level, probably, right? Okay.
So I'm preparing them for kindergarten.
That's right.
I'm teaching them how to write the letters using foundations.
That's right.
But we're doing Haggerty, which is phonological awareness. You're just listening to sounds, and we're exposing you to the letters in foundation. Those are key skills to teaching kids how to read. And I tell parents all the time, if they come in with letters and sounds, it's easy to teach them how to read.
That's right. Makes
We're
sense.
not teaching by memory anymore.
That's right.
We're teaching them
what they know.
By phonics.
And building on that.
That's it. So I would love to have workshops on that. That's the goal I'm working on. Finding parents that I can help, teaching them how to read, but making money.
Hey, God, out here you have to make money.
Got to.
Find a way to make your money.
Enough for the freebies. I've done a lot of free offerings and all these great things.
That's why I'm very, and just with all due respect, I'm very, very particular with who I bring on the set.
Yeah.
I have so many people in my DMs who everybody want to come on and be in front of a camera because they see things, but it has to be something about what you have going on that stands out. And I just want to say thank you. For popping up on the set. I mean, you are a phenomenal individual. I know we met one time when we was on a live and we was all just...
That's right.
Yes, that's me. We was talking, I'm like, oh my God, this woman got a lot to say.
That's right.
Clearly. But
I remember that.
It was only a matter of time. I'm quite sure we're going to get together because...
I do remember that.
Because that's what made me start following. So what you have going on, I am looking forward to... And please, mi casa es su casa. You know what that means.
See, you got that Spanish. Don't get me started
but
with that.
I'm just saying, thank you for coming up on the set.
Thank you.
I look forward to every single book. I need to have them all in my library upstairs.
Absolutely.
I have everyone's books in my library because it's bigger than me.
Good.
You know, my daughter, she's, I call her English Jamaican. You know, she got a Puerto Jamaican because her mother's half Puerto Rican, half Jamaican. Okay, so she's like, I'm a Afro Latina. You know, she's all, she's like a gumbo for real.
Love it.
But thank you for coming up on the set. Sure. Is there any shout outs that you want to give specific to that camera? To anyone specific?
My daughter, Genesis Warrington. Genesis really helped me with a lot of ideas.
That's your assistant.
My daughter.
Yeah, but that's also your assistant because this book, she didn't come with this book, y'all. She forgot to bring the book.
Tell them the story.
So she forgot to bring the book. So we're about to go shooting. And I'm like, so where's the book? And she's like, I forgot the book. I'm about to go leave. I'm not letting this beautiful woman leave this studio. No, I'm not. But thanks to technology, she got on the phone, made a couple of calls, and to her beautiful daughter, shout out to Genesis, hey, make this happen. And Genesis...
She made it happen.
Made sure this book got here.
She made it happen.
So, okay, so your assistant, Genesis.
My assistant, Genesis. My sister, Judy, who always encouraged me. My brother, Sean, who gives me words of wisdom. Mm-hmm. My parents just always support me in every endeavor of my life. Just coming from a really good family. And my friends. I think this birthday, I realized that I have really good friends.
Yes.
They really held me up, you know? I felt so much love from them. And these are people that I worked with 14, 15 years ago. A lot of teachers. Amazing people. Mm-hmm. So I have a really good group where we help each other. We love each other. So I don't want to call names because there's so many of them. But when coming to my immediate family, they are really, really strong supporters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They never said, no, you can't do the book. No, you can't do this. They're just like, we're here. We're going to support you. So that's what keeps me going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fact that you're pushing all these other things at me, usually when I speak things out to people, like a lot of times when I'm doing something, I tell people. So when the book came out, the day after launch, everyone was like, Donna told me about this book 10 years ago. It's an accountability for me. Mm-hmm. So for me to even talk about the workshops that I want to do in the summer and informing parents about the IEP and all these great things, when I speak it and people hear it, I feel like I have to do it.
That's right.
So look out for me in the next phase of my life. There's a lot more to come.
I'm quite sure that. Is this book for sale?
Yeah.
Where can we get this book? I'm asking 3 more questions. Where can we get this book? Because I have my copy, but where can they get their book? Their copy.
The book is on Amazon right now.
It's on Amazon?
I have my own copies. I'm just building a website. So I hope to put some of the books on the website, but I do have books in my home. Again, I'm new. I'm a new business owner, right? I just started my LLC.
So it's a little bit more. Is it like $5 or $10 more if they want it autographed and signed, like sent? Like if it's autographed and sent out to them, is it a little bit more? Or because I know that the books that you order on Amazon is not like I need mine in my library. I need 2 Irvin. I need a little message.
Wow. So
With
you
love.
know what? This guy's onto something.
I
I never
need-
thought about that.
Well-
so I should charge a little more with the signature, right?
Man, let me tell you something. You think
I
Michelle
never
Obama
thought
gonna do
about
it?
that.
You think the mother folks gonna do it? All my friends who do that, I mean, all their projects,
Interesting.
CDs for their projects. If you want an autograph copy,
Really?
I mean, come on now. I mean, if you was able to get something from one of these elites,
Got it.
I mean, why not take advantage, right?
Listen, seek out this guy for an interview. He gives you business ideas, all these other great things. He has all this stuff in him that just brings out the best in you.
Okay,
But
so
I never thought about that.
So and also, where could people get in contact? Where could they find you?
I am on social media.
On social media,
I'm trying to be a little more present there.
And where can they find under what name?
I'm under Harvesting Gems LLC.
Okay, and you know that will be at the bottom of the screen. You know
Yes.
that's gonna be there. Okay. Harvesting Gems LLC.
LLC. Follow me, like my photo, and seek me out.
Make sure you do that. Ms. Donna, is there anything else that we need to touch on for now?
No, it's Mother's Day, and I have to get out there and.
That's right. I don't want to hold you up.
So I'm very honored. Like he said, I was supposed to come yesterday and things just got in the way. What was it? Sometime last week. We just kept missing each other. But I believe everything has its time. Everything has its purpose. And I'm very honored to be here. In the beginning, I was a little nervous.
You did say that.
But
you sent the text. You
actually,
said, "Oh, I'm on my way." But
I was sweating. And then he just made it very comfortable.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I will definitely do this with you again.
It was bittersweet for my siblings and I. We left our small island of simple living and embarked on our journey to live in a big, busy city. These are your words.
Yeah.
Your words.
Yes.
Your book.
My book.
Please make sure. So is it The Day We Left by Donna Gay-Warrington
You got it.
on Amazon?
Yes.
Okay. Is it expensive? Expensive books?
It's $23 on Amazon.
Oh, that's perfect.
And if you buy it from me, it's $20.
Oh, so you get it fresh direct.
Well,
It's cheaper and 25 with autographed
from his mouth
to God's ears.
that's it. So yeah, $25 with my signature and a nice message.
Hey, listen, ma'am.
So nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Many, many more. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
allowing me to be a part of this journey
Absolutely. Thank
and this milestone.
you.
You are an amazing,
Thank
beautiful, illustrious talent.
Aw, thank you so
And
much.
guys, make sure you get this The Day We Left on all platforms out there in the
Aw,
world on
thank you
Amazon.
so much.
And if you reach out direct, you can get a little bit cheaper. Trust and believe
Yeah.
that. Ms. Donna, thank you for coming up on the set.
Thank you.
And I tell you guys all the time, the quality of your living is based entirely upon your ability. Your ability to do what? How do you grow? How are you going to expand? And some of you guys are going to have to leave your comfort zone to be able to become greater, because you cannot have success without taking the risks. We have Ms. Donna, and yes, guys, I know, beautiful. Yes. Right?
I just want to leave one word of advice.
Please.
Right? No matter what you face, make sure you make that something that pushes you
Tell them. Look
to
at
the
them directly.
point
Look
where
at them directly. Don't look at the
nothing
camera.
stops
Look at the screen.
you.
Look at the
Nothing
camera.
should stop you. One day you'll hear my story, right? But this book came out of a very difficult situation. And it pushed me to get it done. That year, I wrote the book. I drove for the first time.
Oh.
And I changed schools. I moved out of my comfort zone. So do not let adversity stop you. Let it push you. Stress pushes me to accomplish things that I never thought about accomplishing. I'm known for that.
And if you don't get out your comfort zone,
You have to.
don't expect a lot of
If I
great
can
things to
do
come
it,
to life.
you can.
I tell them that all the time.
Trust me.
I tell them that all the time. My friends say that as well. No matter if you're sad and blue, there's always someone who got it worse than you.
That's it.
That's Shaggy. That's not
it.
me. That's
But
Shaggy.
don't wear your feelings on your sleeves.
Hey,
Never.
never?
Go behind closed doors.
We heard
Got it?
that. We're live on set. To the next episode, like, share, subscribe, and You have the information. Don't say we didn't give it to you. And don't be afraid to take them small steps. You got to start somewhere.
Small steps.
Itty bitty steps.
Yeah.
Start somewhere.
And grow with it.
And also, since we know it is Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to you and all the women that's a part of your growth and development.
Absolutely.
And happy Mother's Day to you and all of the women that's a part of your growth and development. And I'm looking forward to hearing about what happens on the day you leave, wherever you leaving.
Yeah, let's hear those
and
stories.
And the day you're arriving.
Let's hear those
wherever
stories.
Wherever it may be.
The
We're
day
live
we
on
left.
set. Donna,
Let's hear your story.
Irv, stay tuned. Come back to the next
Many more to
episode.
come.
Many more to come.
You got it. All right. That was me.
And Finn.
Ooh.